Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to share with you a simple exercise that can fix most of your trading problems. Alright, I'm talking specifically about psychology problems. Alright, and using this exercise you're going to know whether it is psychology or it is your technical edge. And if it's psychology, then what is exactly the problem that you have in your trading? Because trading psychology is a broad field. So I'm not talking about those motivational quotes, just be disciplined, just follow your system, just follow your plan, control your emotions. So these things only sounds good, but it helps no one, alright? Let's be real. So this is something that you can start doing today, and that will show you exactly what emotions keeps ruining you, and eventually how to neutralize it. So I found this in a book, all right, and I've been using it with a friend of mine who was struggling and stuck in a loop where he was trying to fix all of his problems all at once. But this exercise is completely different. It is going to pinpoint the exact problem that you have, and once you identify it, finding a solution to it, it's very easy. All right, so the exercise simply is a 5 steps protocol, and let's try to do it with the first step. It's extremely easy. So what I want you to do in the first step, I like to call it the 1-sentence audit. All right, after every trade, whether it is a win or a loss, I want you to write one or multiple sentences with this format right here. I felt when happened. All right, so for example, I felt anxious when price came back to my entry. I don't want you to write a diary or a story after that trade. I want you to make it as easy as it gets. Just one simple sentence, and I want you to follow this format right here. I felt anxious when price came back to my entry. This is just an example. For example, I felt greedy when I was up $300 and wanted to push maybe for that $500. All right, another example could be I felt frustrated when I missed the breakout. So these are just samples. No essays, no journaling, no overthinking, just the emotion and the trigger. All right, so what you felt and why, what caused that feeling of yours. So for example, in the first sentence, I felt anxious, and the trigger, it was when price was trading to your TP and then it came back to your entry again. So for example, you took a long, price was trading to the upside and then decides to do a pullback, deep pullback into your entry once again, and you feel like you're back to square one. All right, that can trigger some emotions. I want you to write these down. The moment you close the trade, all right, the moment you close it, I want you to go to your journal or a web page, whatever, and I want you to write a couple of sentences like this, exactly like this. All right, it needs to be fresh. All right, you need to write these down right after that trade. It's not going to take a lot of time. When you follow this format, you don't have to do a lot of thinking. It's going to take, I don't know, 20 seconds, 1 minute, whatever. Now, you're going to do that after each trade. You're not going to do anything at the end of the day or at the end of the week. Just stack these sentences. Now, that's step 1. Step 2, now it's time to spot the pattern. So you're going to do this for a week, or it depends on your style of trading. For example, if you're a scalper, you only need a week if you take or you took enough trades. If you take one trade every day or every 2 days, maybe you're gonna do that till you gather at least 20 trade. All right, so it depends. Let's say for example it took you a week to gather 20 trades, so now you have 20 or 20 entry with multiple sentences. All right, now all you have to do is to grab all those sentences and start grouping them. All right, and you will be shocked how fast you're gonna see patterns. All right, the moment you put them side by side, you're gonna suddenly start detecting patterns. Now, what you're looking for is, as I said, patterns, but the most recurring pattern. All right, for example, fear kicks in every time there is a pullback. All right, pullback, whenever price pulls back, it was going to your TP, starts going down, one more time, pulling back, fear kicks in, and this happened multiple times. So you're gonna look at your sentences. For example, another pattern could be, and I don't want you to take what I show you here and just copy it. Be creative and be exclusive with what's happening to you at that moment. All right, another example could be you feel FOMO every time a breakout happens without you. For example, you're looking for a long, so now you're waiting for a high to get broken. All right, and price break that high and it just keeps going up from there. All right, it breaks that high, you were waiting for it, but it didn't break it near your entry area, and it didn't pull back to your entry. It break it and printed another up close candle to the upside, and now you feel fear of missing out. Now what can happen here is that you take an early entry, right, high entry, and you have a big stop loss, and now you probably price is gonna pull back heavily on you. You're gonna go into deep drawdown, and it's gonna take forever for price to go to your TP. And if it's a loser, it's gonna be even worse. All right. Another pattern you can find is you get revenge trade impulses after your first loss of the day. All right. So you start the day with a losing trade. For example, when you started with a winning trade, everything is all right. But when you started with a losing trade, you feel like now you're behind. Now you're chasing the score or something. So one of those patterns will jump out at you as the main one. All right, you're just gonna see it, and that's your number one emotional leak. All right, and here's the key: we're not going to fix discipline in general, right? Saying that I'm not disciplined enough and I need to work on that. No, we're going after this one leak first. Discipline is ambiguous, but when you start identifying these leaks one by one and working on the number one that's causing you problems, and you're gonna just isolate it and start working on that, and then the number two, and then three, and then four. All right, now you're working on your discipline and your emotional problems. All right, so that's step two. Going on to step three, now you're gonna build the counter plans, all right, for each leak. All right, so for that one main trigger, you're going to write one or two counter sentences, and you're going to read them before the trading session starts. All right. For example, if your main trigger is fear on pullback, all right, a price doesn't go straight to your TP. It does pullback, a lot of pullbacks, comes back to your entry, and now reverses to your TP, one more time coming back to your entry. It happens all the time, right? So a counter script might be something like that. A pullback isn't danger, it is part of the setup. I only exit if my stop is hit. Alright? Now this might seem silly, obvious, ridiculous, whatever, but you have no idea how much influence this simple sentence has. This is a reminder for you. A lot of times we take a stupid trade. We know it's a stupid trade, but only after the fact, after we close that trade, we say to ourselves, why did I take that trade? It was so stupid, then why did I take it? Alright? Just like this simple sentence, it looks silly and you already know it, but when you're in the middle of a trade or you want to take a trade, these simple things tends to go away. Alright, so this will work as a reminder for you. A reminder when your brain flips into survival mode. Alright, because when you are in a trade and you're gonna see those whatever deep pullbacks into your entry, price just stuck there, no stop loss or no TP, and you want to exit that trade, these reminders, simple reminders, it's gonna have an immense effect on your decisions. All right, so that's step 4 or step 3, building those counter scripts or counter sentences. Now for the last step, step 4, you're gonna install the fix. So for the next week, you're gonna run the same one sentence audit after each trade. all right, and read your counter sentence before any trade that could trigger your first emotion, all right, your number one emotion, all right. So you're gonna repeat that process again and again until you're gonna fix all the leaks. So eventually you're gonna start noticing that the triggers start to lose their grip, all right. The decision that used to feel impulsive will now feel like a choice, all right. Extremely important. And after a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it depends on your output in trades, you're gonna see a tremendous enhancement in your overall trading, all right. So don't be lazy, do this exercise and don't quit, all right. As I said, you don't do nothing on day one. You don't review these sentences at day 1 or day 2 or day 3, all right. Stack them, and at the end you need to gather some decent sample size in order for you to start noticing these patterns, all right. So I hope you like this video. If you have any other questions, you can always DM me in my Twitter account or leave a comment down below and I'll answer you as soon as I can. Now happy trading and good luck.